You know, I often wonder in the quiet moments when I think of all the children that have died in this country, what gifts they would have brought into this world and what a difference they would have made in this world. We have a very special guest today, Melissa Ohden. She is an abortion survivor, and we are so honored to have you here today, Melissa.
Thank you. Without me even saying a word, you know it's a blessing for me to be physically standing here in front of you today. And I want to thank everyone with the Susan B. Anthony list. Jill, you have been a huge hero to me throughout my life, because I know that I'm standing here with women who are the giants of the pro-life movement. And not just the pro-life movement, but I believe that we are women who are going to help change and shape this nation. Because I stand here before you today as a life that my very president would have left to die. In fact, we know that he voted in favor for me to be left to die. Almost 35 years ago, on August 29th of 1977, I was born alive at about 31 weeks gestational age after a saline infusion abortion failed to end my life. Like those children that Jill saw at her hospital, I was left for dead at St. Luke's Hospital, right up the river. But unlike those children, I was blessed with doctors and nurses who, when they discovered that that baby they left for dead in the hospital room was making weak grunting noises and tiny movements, they stepped in and provided me with the medical care that sustained my life. Absolutely, give them a round of applause. And it breaks my heart to know that that day my life was left to chance. Certainly I know in the grand scheme of things that was not a chance. But my life should have never been left to chance for who was working that day, who might have felt called to provide me with medical care. You would never know it by looking at me today that when I first survived, the prognosis for my life was very poor. I had severe respiratory and liver problems. I suffered from seizures for an extended period of time. I was in the neonatal intensive care unit at the University of Iowa hospitals for about 3 months. The doctors made it clear that, first of all, there is no medical reason why I survived. I'm okay with that. I think we're all okay with that. I'm okay with some people left scratching their heads. But the doctors also made it clear they didn't believe that I would continue to live for very long. And if I did live, I was going to suffer from multiple disabilities, anywhere from being blind and deaf to having emotional and mental disabilities. And like we've heard from my dear friend Jennifer already today, sometimes people hear about lives like mine and think maybe somehow that isn't a life worth saving. I've actually had people say to me, I can't believe they provided you with medical care. Why would they do such a thing? You were such a liability. That is the reality of the world that we live in today, folks. Even though we know that more people are pro-life than ever have been, the truth is there are still people in our world who want to decide when a human life is worth saving. And I know, looking at me today, many people, if you don't know me, wonder if there's something you're missing as you see me standing here today, right? After I've told you what happened to me. Because the truth of my mother's abortion is that I should have been scalded to death in the womb. The saline infusion abortion involves injecting a toxic salt solution into the womb. And I soaked in that toxic salt solution for 5 days. Actually 2 days longer than what I even should have. Miraculous indeed. But if you're wondering if there's something that you can't see today, I will tell you, praise God, I am perfectly healthy. But truthfully, you know that it wouldn't matter to me if I was standing here today with scalded skin. It wouldn't matter to me if I was blind. It wouldn't matter to me if I was deaf, because I would still be so thankful that I'm alive. And I've spent 20 years of my life being able to come to grips with what happened in my life and heal from what happened. But I will tell you, there are some things that I can't accept. I cannot accept that we live in a world that wants to talk about what happened to me as health care. Scalding a child to death in the womb is not health care. And I will tell you, living my life every single day, being who I am, and being the mother of a 4-year-old girl myself, who coincidentally was born at the very same hospital where my life was supposed to end. Because anything can happen in this world. As her mother and as a survivor and as a woman, as a feminist, I will tell you that every single vote counts. And the tide is turning, and I don't believe there has been any more important time in my life than now. And so I encourage all of you, especially women, to not only get out the vote, but get out the word to other individuals, the truth about abortion, the truth about people who are trying to gain office. People like Christy Vilsack, we need to talk about her stance on abortion. I think I read words recently that said she talked about it being irrelevant. I will tell you, it's a pretty relevant issue at my house. I think that was specifically about the gender-specific abortions, but it is all relevant. And I will tell you certainly that Steve King is a huge, huge hero in my book, and I am so thankful to have someone like him who is standing there every single day, not just in word, but in action, and is making it clear that every life and every life counts and matters. So I want to thank you all for being here, and I just want to encourage you, get out the vote. Your vote matters. Thank you.